Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time today. We are having the first UK alumni meet to talk about angel investments. We have here Team Wazir and IIM-CAN is organizing the event. I first want to introduce Arun Kumar, co-founder at IIM-CAN, IMC 1991 batch, an investment banker with strong experience in startup funding, venture capital. We also have Mr. Alok Mehta, IMC batch 1997. He is passionate about driving transformation of businesses to especially help them scale. Uh, we have from Wazir Mr. Gajanan and Bhavna. Wazir is a smart platform for legal, accounting, and compliance services. They do end-to-end legal and accounting work for startups and even businesses looking to enter in India. Uh, Gajanan is a qualified company secretary whose area of expertise are company law, investment, and finding compliances. We have Bhavna, who is a qualified chartered accountant with 17 plus years of experience. Her areas of expertise are accounting, business structuring, and various business audits. I request Mr. Arun Kumar to take over and introduce and talk about IIM-CAN.
Yeah, hi guys. I know some of you are members of IIM-CAN, but others are not. So, what is IIM-CAN? Let's just walk through that. It's a network set up by Aso, me, and Sandeep to help IIM-CAN alumni to wade through the angel investment space. We have right now 4 deals live, and all these deals are right now based in India. We also have members abroad, and one of the reasons for this call is that people in UK, US want to understand what are the nuances of investing in India. And we thought it would be great if we can get someone like Alok, who has invested, who has an understanding from an investment side, and and people like Wazir, who can advise us on the compliances and the legal side. So uh, just to say, IIM-CAN is right now 290 members, 4 deals under our belt, and we hope to do many more deals in that space, in the angel investment space. So I would hand over to Alok.
Okay, so as sort of has been said, I've been asked to give a small background on what is happening and what I'm doing and so on and so forth, and how I'm involved with few of these things. So just as a background, I'm 97 pass out, so I'm 32nd batch, and basically my career started off in sales, went off into marketing side, went off into general management, looking first after healthcare, got into drinks, which is basically the booze side of things, not the soft drinky things. I don't like that stuff too much. And then into joined a nascent company called Nokia at that time, and I was with them all the way till it was closed down. And then went into Microsoft, and then left them. Then have consulted for quite a few big, small companies, done some big projects for banks and fintechs, and then out of that, basically as a career transition, it's been slowly getting into lots and lots of different areas. I'm basically a general management guy pretty much, and along the way I floated a few businesses, ran them for a few years, exited out of them, sold 2 of them, shut a few which didn't work. And that's been essentially the side of me myself being an entrepreneur, trying to get funding and running things. And finally, then the other thing which I started doing from the UK then finally was trying to find investable options in India and other places. I've invested in a few businesses there, and there's been some very interesting problems which I ran into basically when I started looking at things, and a lot of them I hope Wazir will talk today and give us better solutions than the ones I've had, because some of my biggest challenges came from the fact that I was a British citizen by that time, and I wanted to look at investing into things. Luckily, I had a OCI at that time. I also had companies in India alive. So far, the way I've been doing it is because I have an Indian company in India. I basically look at investing into companies using that company as the main thing, and then when if at all. Right now, I've not done any exits, to be very frank, because most of the companies are in a nascent stage. Then I basically look at taking the money into the Indian company, then repatriate it out back to the UK company, either through consultancy fees or other ways. Okay, so it's a roundabout way of doing it currently. And mostly I had to do this at that point in time because there didn't seem very much better compliance or regulatory options looking at it. My I have a very simple philosophy. As I said, given I've worked in so many different businesses from a corporate side and a consultancy side, I've run out of industries and how many I've done work in. So it's difficult for me to sort of say, okay, here I'm a specialist in this. So I do not, philosophy wise, if I'm looking at investments, I don't do sectoral investments. I basically look at the business itself. If I think from my experience of having worked in so many different industries that the business has legs to scale, then I look at investing in it. Okay, that's the very simple logic I use. So it's not, and I'm talking qualitatively right now. The time is a little bit too short for me to jump into doing what all financial analysis or etc. that I do. But broadly speaking, there are a few things that I look at. One, like I said, if I intuitively feel that there is consumer demand for this business, there is enough market for that business to scale up, then I do, because as Sandeep rightly introduced, uh, my consultancy builds itself on primarily just one thing: how can you really scale up a business? Okay, and if that is not possible, basically I'm not interested. So I don't have interest in niche businesses, which can be very profitable, by the way, and there's nothing wrong as having that in your investment portfolio strategy if that's what your mindset is. My mindset is not there. I prefer longer gestation games where you have to stay longer in the business and you help them survive. The benchmark which I use basically is if a business survives the first 5 years, it's capable of scaling up. Okay. If it doesn't survive the first 5 years, don't waste your time with it. Then they're not going to make it. Okay, that's the simple way it works. This is empirical experience of having worked with so many different kind of startups in so many different industries. I can't tell you, but it's been really difficult for me to find anything else which I can say with hand on the heart and saying this thing will always work. So this is the only rule which I know which always works: 5 years survival and profitability if they achieve, unless it's like a very strange, some of these monopolistic businesses, which is the current business model today, which again I don't invest in. Okay, so I'm not one of those guys who will put money in saying that this company after 15 years will be a monopoly and hence I'll wait 15 years to exit. I don't do that. My time horizon, as I said, is around max 10 years. And that's basically what I'm looking at. So basic things which I look for in a business if I'm trying to invest in it. One, as I rightly said, if it doesn't scale, I'm out immediately. Okay, and I feel I just can't see that scaling and I can't figure out what the market is. If I don't understand the business, I'm out. Number two, the second criteria which I have is the team. More than what industry they're in, their qualifications and all. What I found is if the team which is there, I like to meet the team virtually or physically, so I travel. So if the team is good, that's pretty much the better criteria I look at, because in the early stages, if you're doing angel investment, and especially if you're doing seed or pre-seed, that kind of things, um, often you'll find that the product is a bad product. Okay. The question is, can the team pivot constantly around the product, and can they actually do something with it and make it viable? Which is why the first criteria, if the business is scalable, it has an addressable market, becomes so critical even before you have a product. Okay, so team, can they make a product? That's basically thing. The next thing is, what's the expectation of the team? Sometimes they have very unrealistic expectations, to be honest, and that's typically what I find, because the entrepreneurs are sometimes very young. They haven't failed before. Everyone thinks they're a Google. Everyone thinks they're a Facebook, and you can. Everyone thinks they can reach a scale. Um, don't forget, this is the second empirical rule which never fails. 90 to 95% of all businesses will fail in the first 5 years. Okay, so just 5% survive. So keep that in mind when you're looking at businesses from a investment or whatever angle. You're not going to make money on each and every business. It's rare. It does happen sometimes, beginner's luck, whatever you want to call it, but it's very difficult. So whether from the entrepreneur side or your side, you do need to keep in mind that statistic, no matter how much you try, because there's only a limit to what you can as a investor, unless you've invested like some huge stake into the business. You don't have much control directly over them, so you need to manage your expectations dramatically. I'd like to stop at this point because I don't want to keep speaking the entire time, but hopefully that gives you at least a gist of thinking and from where I tend to come from. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Alok, for your wonderful
No problem,
insights. Yeah, I request Bhavna to take. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. First, to introduce myself, I'm a chartered accountant with over 17, 18 years of experience into this consultancy field. So, we are working closely with many startups. So, the things which we have observed, like where you should focus, like, sometimes what happens, you are too much busy talking to your investors or something, and then this compliance portion you totally ignore, and it doesn't have an immediate implication, that comes at a later stage in the form of interest or penalty or notices from government. So I would like to advise everybody here sitting that if you want to manage your business successfully and without having much of a headaches and all, you should be in a day-to-day touch with even your financial, legal and compliance in charge, whosoever is your consultant, maybe a consultant, maybe a in-house role you are giving. So that is what we try to do. We try to help out the startups in that domain. So basically, the compliances which you should look out. So in India, there are multiple level of compliances. So it is a compliance of company law, compliance of income tax, withholding tax, GST, labor laws, RBI, whatso and whatnot. So now the government has announced that single window scheme and all. So with this, we are hoping that the life will become easier in coming futures, and like government is also planning its best to reduce this burden of compliances, which is a welcome step. So that is how it is. So I would like to keep this short, and maybe we can go for more of a question answer rounds. So if anybody has a specific questions related to some compliances, we would be open to answering it.
Bhavna, can you also share some pointers on how does the taxation look for someone who is a citizen of UK, for example, investing in India? So those aspects.
So you are saying from incorporating a company point of view or from an investor point of view?
Investor point of view.
So a UK citizen trying to invest in India.
Yeah, Indian startup.
Indian startup. So initially they will invest their funds, right? And whatever returns they will get in the form of dividends and all, and capital gains.
Okay.
So appropriately they will tax depending on the DTA, their status, their PE status and all.
What are the best routes to take to invest? Like what accounts to open to invest before investing in the startup? Any ideas on that?
Sorry, I didn't get you on this.
So what bank accounts do they need to use? Can they transfer directly from the UK bank to the startup bank, or this kind of details
No,
also?
they can start up from directly from the UK bank to here. Like here in India, the company will do the all RBI compliances. So there are certain shareholder agreements and all agreements they should go through, and then they can transfer from their account to the Indian account.
How much time generally this just for the investor to be prepared?
Sorry?
For the investor to be having some expectation, right? Like how much time does it take? And
so officially, sir, it is 15 to 20 days. But
okay.
practically, we have seen a lot many times there are challenges with the KYCs.
Okay.
So banks offshore doesn't clear the KYCs. And
Okay.
without the banks offshore clearing the KYCs, Indian banks are not clearing the share application money. So practically, we have seen sometimes it takes even 2 to 3 months for the company also to receive the share capital.
Okay.
So this is a technical bit of a challenge on the how quickly your authorized bank clears your KYCs and how quickly Indian bank finishes their documentation.
Got it.
Yeah.
I have a related question. Suppose somebody is in UK but he is an Indian citizen. Then what would you suggest is the best route for him to remit money into an Indian company? Is it NRO? Is it NRE? Is it his account in UK, what is the best and easiest way for him to invest?
So his residential status is
He's an NRI effectively,
okay.
but he has NRO accounts in India. He has an NRE account in India. He also obviously has an account in UK for his day-to-day work. So which account would you suggest should he remit money into an Indian company?
Yeah.
So here two things will come into picture. One is repatriation basis and non-repatriation basis.
Yeah.
So if they are transferring the investment amount through foreign account, foreign currency account, so for that we have to do the RBI compliances. But if they are transferring amount from Indian currency account, then no need of reporting to RBI. So as a profession, I always suggest to transfer it from INR account only, because for me it's no need of reporting to RBI and no need of following with our banker.
Okay. So I got it. What you're saying is if I want to keep the money in India, then I use my NRO account because whatever capital gains will be, they'll stay in India only because it's a non-repatriable investment.
Yes.
But if I want to take the money out of India, then it might make sense to invest from
Yes. From the initial period only, you have to file all the documents with before this RBI.
Yeah.
Without that, you cannot take that money to your country.
But if I, for my understanding, if I remit money from my NRE account, do I need to take approvals of RBI or that is automatically done?
RBI says whenever two currencies are involved, reporting to RBI is mandatory. If
Okay.
only one currencies are involved, if you are managed in INR amount only, then no need of reporting to RBI, because the system it won't approve. It will give permission to file those documents before RBI.
Okay, got it. So as far as remittance is concerned, whether it's NRE account or whether it's a account in UK, same compliances have to be done.
Correct.
Yeah, that's something very useful.
RBI always says if you have two currency transaction,
Got it.
then coming to this reporting will come into picture. If you are already done a INR transaction only, no need to report to RBI.
So just curious here, Gajanan, not that I have that particular issue, but let's say if someone wants to transfer to his own account, that NRE account also, right, which would be in INR, right?
Correct.
So even then, some reporting has to be done, or
so there are two departments you will come into picture here. One is Ministry of Corporate Affairs and second one is the Reserve Bank of India. So first thing is mandatory. If it is from NRE account, INR account, whatever it may be, mandatorily we have to report to this Register of Companies, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, by filing all the return of allotment, the PS file, all those documents need to be reported to Ministry of Corporate Affairs.
Yeah, I understood that whenever we issue invest in prospectus, there is form TR14 or something.
Correct.
Yeah, got it.
Thanks everyone for sharing your valuable insights. It's been really helpful and comprehensively. We have covered a lot of topics. We have recorded the webinar. We'll also share it with people who were unable to attend. Let's do more of these kind of webinars where people can learn more and very easily they can participate in startup investments. Thank you.